my funny bone. That's a good way to start the vlog. Hi. I have a tendency to bite my nails, and I've broken the habit many times, which has proven that I have some semblance of willpower, but my stress levels can always be gauged based on the length of my nails. So, I'm sorry, they're not done, but if you can see that, if it'll focus, I do have my nails, you know, they're fairly long. And then there's I'm like embarrassed to show you my thumbs. Oh, how do you show thumbs? I guess this way. So my thumbs, oh God, like hangnails, and I've just bitten them off. Like they are nubs. So I am in my childhood house and I have some leftover fake nails. And this was always kind of the key to hacking into my nail biting habit. I would always put on fake nails so that I physically couldn't get to them. And then when I take the nails off, my nails would have grown underneath. Clearly, I haven't quite completely broken it because my thumbnails are a mess. So, I'm trying to like match the nail. I have to like push back my cuticles. Cuticles are so weird. You have to like push back these like layers of skin. Like it's so strange. Matthew left today, or he didn't leave today actually. He left last night, but it's my first day without him and we haven't been apart. 2020 obviously forced a lot of couples either to be apart for a long amount of time or together for a long amount of time, and Matt and I were in the latter category. We have not been apart for longer than like a day or two since March. So it's definitely an adjustment. Like I really pride myself on being independent, and I think 2020 has kind of forced some interdependence between Matt and I, and I'm sure a lot of other couples, it's forced the same thing or forced independence. Well, I feel like I'm being my own nail salon lady because I've never done this like trimming in my life. Yeah, I think I'll sit down today and talk a little bit about the plans so far, like where I am now, what's going on with our Kelowna plans, because obviously a wrench has just been thrown again this year, so you have to kind of adjust accordingly. But as of right now, I'm like gonna be flying out to Ontario on the 27th, and hopefully the flights don't get canceled because I know Ontario is going into a lockdown, but I'm technically an Ontarian resident and this flight was booked months ago, so I'm a little nervous, but I can't worry about it because if I worry about it now, then it's like going through it twice. So I just hope the flight isn't canceled. I hope the airports remain open so that I can get home where I am a resident. Okay, never mind on getting my thumbnails done because I don't have any adhesive. Actually, I do have adhesive, but it's all hard and it won't come out of the bottle because it's like 15 years old. So that was my bad. I'm just gonna have to live with these ugly nails. Right now I'm gonna do a cleanup. I'm heading to the cottage with my family. My cottage is very close to home. And yeah, I'm gonna head there, but I need to like clean up and pack before I can leave and do that. So I guess this will be the sit down portion of the video where I talk about what's going on. So back in, I wanna say like the late summer, early fall, Matt and I decided to come back to Nova Scotia because we had carved out a period of time where we could do that and where we might be able to kind of live a semi-normal life, because cases in Ontario at that point in time were like climbing to about 1,000 a day, which was getting a little bit scary. And it's not like we were really, aside from my moving and that need to be at my Toronto apartment, like we weren't really in the city center, so we weren't super concerned about us getting the virus because most of the cases at that point were just in the GTA. But we still were definitely like anticipating that there might be a second lockdown, especially in Ontario. So we were like, okay, well, let's book our flight and get out of here. And we might be able to kind of live a semi-normal life in Nova Scotia because Nova Scotia has a 14-day isolation period when you arrive. So we'd carved out some time to do that and we're like, okay, we're gonna do it. We booked our flight We got here, we went to my cottage to isolate by ourselves, and a week into our isolation, there was an outbreak in Nova Scotia, and the numbers rose dramatically, at least for Nova Scotia, and it became quite scary for the people here, and we entered what is now declared as the second wave. Same thing kind of happened in Ontario. Like, Ontario's cases grew exponentially, and now we're in the second wave and it's like a second lockdown. So we got here in November, and Ontario is now in a lockdown that is going to be starting on Christmas Eve, which was just announced. And they also announced that lockdown could involve potential flight restrictions domestically and internationally. My flight, so thankfully Matt got out last night. So last night was the 20th. So he got out just in time, but my flight isn't until after Christmas, on the 27th. So that is a little scary because I might not be able to get home. I mean, it's not like I'm in a rush because Ontario is not a fun place to be right now. I'm comfortable here, but I'm supposed to go back. Then we're supposed to be driving to Kelowna like end of January. I'm a little concerned that my flight will just be canceled and not rescheduled, and I'm just nervous. I'm just a little nervous. Just like one day at a time. I can't be stressing about the uncontrollables. I have stopped cleaning, so I should probably get back to cleaning. So actually, this is mine and Matt's shared bag that we're bringing back to Ontario. So he left with just like a satchel because the flight that we booked with, it's like ultra cheap flights, but they charge you a lot for a checked bag. So we just decided to split one. So he left all of his clothes and one of his gifts, which is the Caldera whiskey, which is local to Nova Scotia. It's kind of near my cottage. So he has this that's going to be coming with me when I fly on the 27th, presumably. And then this is my half. Note the tampons, obviously it's my half. And yeah, I'm gonna just like have to pack this up. And yeah, that's my next task. What do you want? Do you want this? Good boy. Okay. No, no, no. Ready? Ready? Bang! Good enough. I just filmed my menswear video. Let me just put you there. I'm feeling productive today. I've filmed a lot for my vlog segments and also my menswear video. But with my fashion videos, at least if any example can be made out of my last video, it took me like 6 to 8 hours to edit that. So hopefully now that I have kind of a template set up, I can use that for my next fashion video that I just filmed. Yeah, if you have any ideas or what I like doing is actually finding ideas that could be a series. So within that series, there'd be a bunch of different ideas within it. That would be great if you could suggest any of those in the comments below. because I need ideas. I don't really want to do beauty related stuff. Like I really like fashion, but in terms of beauty, I just feel like it's kind of a saturated environment right now. Well, it's always been saturated. I think now I'm gonna start editing my fashion video at least, because the sun is setting. I can't really get much more in terms of content with good lighting. Back into sweats for editing. Welcome to the future. We are a week and 2 days out from leaving. It's a little overwhelming, but I think as things start to come together a little more, it will get more exciting. So you may ask, what have I been doing the last few weeks? Well, I've been relaxing after the holidays and running errands, tying up any loose ends before we make the trek. And it's coming up quick. I got this mug for Christmas. It is a ceramic mug from a local artist in Nova Scotia. And the awesome part is that it is a mug in and of itself with kind of a heat protectant around it, silicone. So it's great as just like a normal coffee mug, but then my issue often is that I go into a car after I pour my coffee and I want to bring it with me. So it comes with a silicone lid, which is wonderfully useful for cup holders so that it doesn't spill all over the place, or if you're just walking around. So I will link the artist below that makes these. Highly recommend, highly recommend. What's new? I mean, I'm here. I think the next vlog is gonna be way more interesting because it's actually going to be moving content. So road trip content, preparation content. I think it'll be good. Now I'm kind of in limbo. I'm not gonna lie, I feel a little weird. I guess what's new is Ontario has gone into a state of emergency. It was already in a lockdown, so I'm not really sure at this point what the difference is, because the lockdown started over Christmas and state of emergency, I don't really understand the difference. From what I do understand is that we're not supposed to be going out other than for essential reasons, and right now I'm only out because I need to pick up a package from Canada Post. So I'm going into town to do that. But other than that, it's just been a lot of hanging out by the wood stove fire, only going outside for exercise, like walks on the beach, and just kind of like slowly mentally and physically preparing for this trip. So it's starting to feel real. So, how are you feeling lately? How are you really feeling? I'll admit, lately I've felt adrift, without any real place to call my own. The past 10 months, a nomad, enjoying the gifts of a wayfaring lifestyle, yet yearning for some anchor point. COVID has brought into focus what I needed to change in my life. It's been a period of stripping away the fat, leaving only the simple habits, the simple pleasures. I realize I want to live with more intention. I promised myself that moving forward, I will be making more intentional choices about who I spend my time with, how I spend that time, where I spend my money, and how I'm showing up for myself. I think a lot of us have reevaluated these things this year. This move, once looming ahead in some far-off future, is now jutting up above us as we approach the departure date. It is overwhelming, but nothing that Matt and I can't handle together. Once reality sinks in, it will feel more fun than it will feel stressful. That I'm sure of. Till next time.